If you want to level up your melodies instantly using counter melodies, this video is for you. Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button. If you don't know me, I'm Gabe from BusyWorksBeats.com. We train over 1 million producers around the world. So I'm going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, a long list of folks. So today I'm going to show you how to create counter melodies using FL Studio. The main thing we need to understand with counter melodies is that we have to create a difference in the perception between two elements of melody. And the easiest way to do this is with timing, not the note value. So for example, you might think that you have to create different notes all the way through. Counter melodies are really about the timing of notes. So let's start off with the sound here. And let's create what's called tresillo. So tresillo is ta, 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 ta. Different than triplets. Triplets is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Tresillo is ta, 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 ta. Okay, it's a drill pattern. It's the house pattern. I'll show you guys how to use it. Okay, so now the notes will be equidistant. Okay, so in this case, we have to go down to 1/4 beat to even access this grid. So depending on your BPM, you may have to do this. And then we're just going to put these notes equidistant away and just keep doing this. Okay, so it creates a nice bounce. This is what creates the bounce of house music, for example. Now that we have that kind of starting point, let's go to the next instrument here. And let's add a bass line. And here we're gonna just do some stuff here. Let's pull this up. Now, if I did this on the beat, so like, quarter notes. Now, what I'm doing here is tresillo, but it's spread out further. Okay, so it will look the same as this, but instead of me playing it, in this time frame, we're playing it in a bigger time frame. Okay, so I'm playing the same exact thing, but here we have tresillo offset. So instead of playing at the same timing as before, where this, starting point is right on that downbeat, we're going to offset it. And this is another way to create timing differences without adding a bunch of new notes to your melody. Okay, now let's add the top line. Okay, so we're going to add a third element. So this is our bass line, the dum, dum, but it's based on tresillo. The rhythm here is tresillo. Okay, so we're not doing anything new here. I'm showing you guys how you can use one note to create counter melodies. I want to, banish the myth that you have to use all these scales and all these different modes to create a counter. It's all about timing. Okay, so let's even make this the same note. Now notice this hits on the downbeat, but it's in common with the tresillo at that specific point. Usually speaking, when you have two melodies, one's going to be faster, one's going to be slower. So let's make this half notes. And see the melody's moving without any additional notes. Now let's give these notes different values. This is up to you guys' taste and depends on the sound you're going for. So here we're going to map out the D minor chord, D, F, A. We're just going to spread these notes out. Okay, so I'm just playing a chord, which you guys can learn at busyworksbeats.com/music theory in a day. Actually, just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. So here at the end, it creates a half step, meaning a tension note. Okay, so let's extend these melodies, and now let's start adding note values to these melodies, and I'm going to give you a scientific approach as to how to pick the notes for this melody. So here we're going to use a 7-note system. We have the tonic. We're going to count up 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have a perfect fourth. Okay, or excuse me, I said that's the perfect fourth. Then we have the perfect fifth, which is 7 semitones away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then we're going to add what's called a sharp fifth, flat fifth, the note below, and then a sharp tonic and a flat tonic. So these are the notes we can choose from to kind of freestyle, you know, this faster melody here. So here I'm just gonna go using these notes. It's probably easiest you guys use that fifth, okay, because it always works. And I gotta make sure we don't have timing off it. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat this pattern. Now I'm using the note F, which is not in our structure here, but that's dependent on the key. So this is called the third, since we're using that chord just the same way we did in the long notes. Okay, and then it repeats. Now, when I use all these notes together, I just pick random notes here, random sounds, I mean. Now let's go through and just swap out the sound. And also, too, the last thing I would do is create separation of an octave. So instead of everything being in the same octave, top line is usually 1 octave higher than our harmony section, which we don't have here because I'm trying to keep this simple. So let's raise the faster one up an octave. And now let's just swap out the sound. Let's make sure we don't play that ending here. Okay, so now it's just about sound selection. Let's find more of a pad sound. Let's make this simple. Let's make these perfect fifths. Let's go back to there's a big sound here. So again, you guys got to go through and figure out a sound that works for you. I'm just using random sounds here just to show you guys it's not about the sound all the time. Let's find how to get this envelope. Forget which tab it's on. Give me a second, y'all. Here we go. Okay, let's extend this bass. Let's give this bass some movement here. Now, for the bass, I teach you guys this stuff in my music theory courses. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. But in short, we're going to use the octave, the perfect fifth, the perfect fourth, and a sharp fifth. So let's just use these notes here. Now we're just animating the movements to create more distance between all the notes. Okay, so notice I'm just shaping the sound at this point. We're gonna give the top line a little rhythm here with some delay. There we go. So now we have a little bit of a sub rhythm here. Okay, again, now it's just about finding the right sounds. Okay, so what we could do with this layer 2 is harmonize it. I'm trying not to make this video super in-depth, but to add that final layer, we could think about harmonizing or creating chords from this bottom layer just to be more filled out because it's so simple. Adding more complexity would be to add more notes. So hopefully you guys are starting to see how simple this stuff can really be. But that might take too long to figure out a chord progression for this. So for that reason, I'm going to skip this part because it just takes too much training. Okay, so we just put 3 random sounds together, and now you guys have a 3-layered melody just like that. So that's how you create counter melodies. In the next videos, I'll go over more complex, but I make it simple techniques on how to create counter melody. But the easiest thing to remember from these videos is to understand that counter melodies are more about time than the notes, okay? Notes create a dimension, whereas time creates the actual difference of something. You could think of it as an x-axis versus a y-axis. The y-axis is pitch, the x-axis is time. When you create difference in x-axis, you can visually start to feel the difference of music, whereas the y-axis requires a lot of music theory knowledge. So just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. Peace out, guys.